I will tell you that if you have a business that has a ton of employees running around and you're operating in multiple states, then the process of filing a tax return for that business is really kind of like a separate endeavor in and of itself. But if you have a couple employees or you have an online based business, or even if you're earning a ton of money, but the way in which you earn it is fairly simple, I would still encourage you to use a professional. I would still encourage you to use a business tax planning software like a QuickBooks or things and the like. We'll put some recommendations in the show notes, but you want to have a working knowledge of the things that, from a business perspective, can lower your net business income, thus lowering the amount of income on which you pay taxes. Some of these areas are things like advertising, legal fees, wages and contract labor, any cost that you pay to maintain your continuing education or attend any seminars, business meals and entertainment, not just going to a meal with someone who you happen to do business with, an actual meal where you are discussing business or entertainment that has a business purpose. Office supplies, even things as simple as a stapler, if you're using it for the furtherance of your business production, is something that could be tax deductible. Software subscriptions, especially if you're a virtual or an online business. For example, we do most of our work virtually. Software subscriptions are actually, outside of wages and contract labor, the highest expense that we have when it comes to our deductible business expenses. Dues and memberships. As a certified financial planner, we have to pay membership fees. We have to pay refiling fees. There's associations of which I'm a part that have dues and membership costs. All of those things are potentially tax deductible. Taxi, travel, and parking, when used for the furtherance of business, is something that's potentially tax deductible. And taxes and licenses that are required for the upkeep of your profession or for you to work in your profession in a legal format. All of these things are categories where you want to not just keep track of them. In an ideal world, you'll have some type of software or service that you're using where you can categorize these things and hand them over to a tax preparer so that they can calculate how much of it can be used to lower your business income. Now, there are other considerations, both in terms of whether it's actually beneficial in all scenarios to have your business income from a taxable perspective be as low as possible. When it comes to the tax return itself, there's things that many people don't think about. If you are trying to file things like the home office deduction, you not only have to have an idea of the square footage of your home office relative to the entirety of your home, you also have to be able to assign a certain percentage of things like the utilities, things like the water, things like the electricity that you pay in your home that can be reasonably seen as a byproduct of the use of that home office. Again, little things that don't seem like that big of a deal, but if you're doing these things and trying to file your taxes on your own, it's something where you could do it, but it's not something that I would want to put my stamp on when I turn in that return and it says self-prepared, when I have the option of paying a slightly larger amount of money, but having a CPA or an enrolled agent put their stamp on their return to let the IRS know that a professional filed it on my behalf.